Welcome, everyone. Today, we're exploring the process of company formation and registration. This is a fundamental topic in business administration, especially for those interested in entrepreneurship, law, or corporate management. By the end of this session, you'll understand not only how a company is legally created, but also the importance of key documents and government roles in that process. A certificate of incorporation is your proof of legal existence. The registration process typically involves name reservation, choosing a unique name, submission of documents, memorandum of association, articles of association, and others payment of fees, stamp duty, and registration. Issuance of certificate, final confirmation of incorporation. Let's take the example of Green Earth Limited. If the founders want to start operations, they need to follow this exact process and be issued a certificate before opening bank accounts or entering into contracts. The first formal step is reserving a unique name. This helps prevent duplication and ensures transparency. You cannot pick a name that is similar to an existing company, suggests a government association, is misleading or offensive. For instance, naming your company Ministry of Green Energy Limited would not be accepted. Once approved, the name is reserved for 60 days. It's advisable to prepare a few alternative names just in case your first choice is rejected. The second step involves presenting documents for registration. Now, let's talk about the required documents. Memorandum of Association outlines the company's powers and objectives. Articles of Association governs internal management like meetings, voting, etc. Statutory Declaration of Compliance confirms legal compliance. Statement of Nominal Capital, how much capital the company plans to raise. List of directors and secretary. Names, addresses, and roles. Prospectus, for public companies, inviting the public to buy shares. If Green Earth Limited is a private company, they won't need a prospectus. But if they intend to list on the Securities Exchange, they must issue one. Next, fees. Two main costs: stamp duty based on the company's capital, registration fees. These must be paid before final registration. Proof of payment is essential. If Green Earth Limited has SSP 50 million in capital, the stamp duty will be calculated accordingly. Once everything is submitted and fees paid, the registrar issues a certificate of incorporation. This confirms the company is a legal entity. It can now sue or be sued. It has legal standing separate from its owners. If Green Earth Limited is sued for breach of contract, it is the company, not the individual founders, that is taken to court. Even after registration, public companies have extra requirements. They must issue a prospectus. Directors' qualification shares must be fully paid. A minimum number of shares must be allotted and paid in cash. If these aren't met, they can't legally start business, even if they're incorporated. The MOA is like a company's birth certificate. It contains name clause, company's official name, registered office clause, physical location, object clause, purpose and scope. Liability clause, limits on shareholder liability. Capital clause, share capital. Association clause, intent to form the company. Think of the Memorandum of Association as a contract between the company and the outside world: customers, government, investors. Articles of Association is the company's rulebook. It covers share capital and rights, transfer of shares, meetings and voting, dividends, directors and their appointment, borrowing powers. If a shareholder wants to sell their shares, the Articles of Association will outline how that's done. Or if there's a tie during voting, the Articles of Association may allow the chairperson a casting vote. Sometimes the company evolves. Maybe you want to change its business model. That's where alteration comes in. Memorandum of Association alteration requires a special resolution and possibly approval. Common changes, share capital, object clause. Articles of Association alteration, more flexible but also requires a special resolution, common changes, meeting procedures, director roles. Always ensure compliance when making changes. Non-compliance can lead to fines or invalid decisions. What happens once your company is registered? It gains legal personality, the right to own property, the ability to enter contracts, liability separate from owners. So, Green Earth Limited can buy land, hire staff, and sue, all in its own name. That's why registration is a critical legal shield for entrepreneurs. The Registrar of Companies ensures compliance with the law. Proper documentation, the power to refuse registration if requirements aren't met. Think of the registrar as a gatekeeper. They also keep the company register up to date. If your company changes its directors, the registrar must be notified. Any member of the company can request copies of the MOA or AOA at a nominal fee. There are penalties if the company refuses. This promotes transparency and accountability. Contracts by promoters. These are made before incorporation. Once registered, the company can choose to ratify them. Conversion of companies. Companies can switch types: private to public, limited to unlimited, for profit to non-profit. An NGO converting into a for-profit entity would need legal approval and changes to its MOA and AOA. Commencement of business refers to when a company can legally start operating. Legal implications. If you start trading before registration or compliance, your contracts might be void. So make sure all regulatory steps, especially for public companies, are completed before commencing operations. To wrap up, company formation is a legal process with several steps. The Registrar of Companies is central to the process. Once registered, the company is a separate legal entity. Public companies must meet extra conditions. Compliance is not optional, it's a legal requirement. Whether you plan to start your own business or work in corporate administration, understanding this process is crucial.